The Tampa Bay Lightning continue to try to rebuild on the fly after their third straight Stanley Cup appearance. They had Isaac Howard late in the first round. Adam Denker of Locked On Lightning is here to talk about that with Brandon Pillar and myself as we continue our coverage of the 2022 NHL Draft. Adam, your thoughts about this pick?
I love it. And hockey talent aside, guys, I mean, he showed up looking like Don Johnson from Miami Vice when he went to the stage. I think he won the award for probably best dressed hockey prospect ever. And he even said it afterwards, is that, you know, he deserved to be picked by the way he was drafted. And when you look at the stats of what this guy has done, led the U.S. developmental team in points, second in points per game, only behind Logan Cooley. So anytime you put yourself in a conversation behind Logan Cooley, you're definitely in a good spot to turn some heads on the ice.
Brandon, what is his strongest skill heading into his development now?
There are so many great skills for Isaac Howard, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, it's just a story of the rich get richer. I mean, they have this guy fall into their laps. I had him ranked 23rd in my rankings, and he has incredible hockey IQ and awareness. He's a dual shoot pass threat option. He's smart defensively. He makes quick instinct decisions. He can strip the opponents of their puck really quick. He's always conscious of getting into passing lanes. Scott Wheeler had him as a top 10 talent. Now that's probably a little bit high, but when you start looking at all the things I talked about, there's not a lot of weaknesses in his game. And it's not like Isaac Howard is just average level at all these attributes. I would say he's above average level at all these attributes, kind of like a jack of all trades, masters of none. But when you're on a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning, he can fit anywhere into that lineup. You can bounce him up and down the lineup, and I think it's going to make a lot of sense. He's someone that a team that's been up against the cap for years now, they're going to love having him on an entry-level deal, and I really feel that the Tampa Bay Lightning made a great selection here late in the first round.
Brandon, how far off is he from being NHL ready?
I don't think he's that far off, Gil. He's committed to the University of Minnesota Duluth next year. And the way that when you have that great hockey IQ and you come from the U.S. development program, like Adam said, where he absolutely thrived, it's not going to be a far path for him to find himself on an NHL roster, especially one in Tampa Bay where they really covet those cheap contracts. They'll go out of their way to get guys with cheap contracts, and it doesn't get better than an entry-level contract. So this is just such a great pick for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they show yet again why they're one of the best franchises in the NHL here.
Adam, how are the Lightning doing this, getting cap space and getting these picks? I mean, what is the strategy for the rest of this offseason? Because you guys seem to be pulling things out of a hat constantly.
Well, you know, you kind of figured, you know, with the genius of Julien Brisebois, he's always going to make the right decision. And that Nick Paul deal, I think everyone could agree was astoundingly team friendly in its nature and length and AAV. I would expect to see Alex Killorn probably moved at some point during this summer. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sooner rather than later, especially after the draft is over. But I would expect, you know, maybe Andre Palat deal gets done soon as well. But yeah, I think the key for the Lightning this summer is to definitely find maybe that last defenseman spot, maybe sure up if they don't allow Jan Rutta to come back or Jan Rutta decides to go somewhere else, maybe get another defenseman or, you know, dip into their farm system, which, you know, you have Cal Foote, who has that NHL level experience ready right there to go. And then you have another defenseman slot they need to fill in after the exit, unfortunately, of Ryan McDonough. But they have options, and that's always a good thing, especially when you're up against the cap, and I'm excited. But yeah, I think the next move you might see sooner rather than later is probably Alex Killorn will probably hit the market and definitely be wearing another team's jersey in the next couple of weeks.